We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
Good morning. It's 9:01, and we are at 0 degrees with sunny skies. Cold weather advisory in effect until 11 today for all of southeastern Wisconsin. And a cold weather advisory goes into effect at 9 tonight till noon Tuesday for all of southeastern Wisconsin. It is going to be very cold today, reaching for a high of only 7. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen tells Wisconsin's Morning News wind chills will teeter near 30 below zero tomorrow morning, which could present some school districts with a tough decision.
That's about where schools start looking at closures. Tomorrow, we're just going to be barely touching it. If I had to make a guess right now, I'd guess they'd probably not close because we're not going to be well into the 30s below zero, but we'll have to wait and see.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up in less than 10 minutes. Almost a dozen people are dead after catastrophic flooding hit the southeast this weekend. Storm system triggered more than 1,000 rescues and widespread road closures across parts of the southeast. Governor of Kentucky says 9 were killed in that state and warned the death toll may rise as search and rescue efforts continue. Thousands of IRS employees will reportedly be laid off this week. This would come at the busiest time of the year for the tax collecting agency. Multiple media outlets cite sources saying the IRS will be letting go of probationary workers as part of the Trump administration's efforts to reduce the federal government workforce. It's one of 2 departments Elon Musk is focusing on this week.
ABC News has learned Doge requested access to an IRS data system that retains the personal tax information of millions of Americans. Sources say they have not been granted access yet. Today, Musk is expected to visit the Air Traffic Control Command Center to better understand what the FAA needs to modernize the system. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Today's deadline day for Milwaukee Public Schools to have 25 school resource officers reinstated across the district. A Milwaukee judge imposed the deadline in January after a parent sued the district over the matter last year. In January, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson said the city's been at odds with the district over who should pay for the officers.
Usually when you go to a restaurant and you order a meal, the chef doesn't prepare your meal and then pay the bill. That's essentially what we're being asked to do, and I think that's wrong for taxpayers in the city of Milwaukee.
If MPS does not have SROs back in schools by this morning, they must appear in court at 3 this afternoon to explain their noncompliance. Decision Wisconsin. Tuesday is Wisconsin's spring primary. Voters across the state narrowed down who should lead the Department of Public Instruction.
Incumbent Dr. Jill Underly is seeking a second 4-year term. Looking to unseat her are Sauk Prairie School District Superintendent Jeff Wright and education consultant Brittany Kinzer. Meanwhile, on Milwaukee's east side, residents will vote in the special election to replace Alderman Jonathan Brosthoff, and voters in Kenosha have a $115 million school referendum on their ballots. As for the race between Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel to replace Justice Ann Walsh Bradley on the state Supreme Court, since only 2 candidates are running, the race isn't on the primary ballot. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets closed today for the President's Day federal holiday as our major banks and post offices, UPS and FedEx locations will be open. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:04.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
You gotta get to Built Right today. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano to tell you about Built Right's President's Day and Randy Kay's birthday mattress sale. Their one location saves you time and money, and they make it easy to shop and easy to buy. Built Right beats any big box, national or local chain store, department store, employee-free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built Right also has the best value, selection, and experience team in Wisconsin. Over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands made in the USA: Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses that hold up to 600 pounds. Built Right saves you money. Shop President's Day today, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Otherwise open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, closed to be with family. Make sure to tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, just off of 894 at 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Wisconsin basketball back on the hardwood tomorrow night, tipping off against Illinois from Kohl Center. 15th-ranked Badgers have won 4 straight and improved to 20-5. Badgers Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. Milwaukee blew out Northern Kentucky 92-70. Panthers visit Youngstown State Friday night. Number 16 Marquette hosts Seton Hall tomorrow night. Bucks enjoying most of the week off. Team returns Thursday night against the Clippers from Fiserv. And spring training in full swing this week. Pitchers and catchers have already reported to Arizona for the Brewers. Milwaukee brings its full squad together tomorrow, and the first game of the spring training takes place Saturday afternoon against the Reds. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have a crash. It is off right, blocking the right shoulder. This is going to be at I-43 South at the ramp from Locust Street. Also look for a disabled vehicle on the ramp from 84th Street to I-41 West. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cold weather and advisory in effect for another couple of hours till 11 a.m. and then another one issued tonight, 9 p.m. until noon tomorrow for all of southeastern Wisconsin. It is going to be cold today with a high of 7 and those wind chills 10 to 20 degrees below zero. Clear and cold tomorrow, or tonight rather. The overnight low is -6 below zero. Sunny and cold tomorrow, high of 10 with wind chills 5 to 25 below. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. Flurries possible in the afternoon and evening. High Wednesday 14, partly cloudy and 22 Thursday, sunny and 24 on Friday. 0 in Madison, 1 below in Green Bay. Now we're up to 2 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:08.
Good morning, Wisconsin. So let's pour that coffee and talk to some experts about what's going on in Milwaukee, Madison, Washington, and beyond. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. It's the Political Power Hour on WTMJ. Here's your host, Steve Scaffidi.
Should we talk about the government?
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm out of my chair momentarily. I'm trying to grab something before the show started. Happy Monday. Good to be back from vacation. Yes, I was gone. I missed the snowstorms. Don't care about any of that because we have 2 great guests today on the program. As you know, Monday's about journalism. Real journalism, not fake journalism, not advocacy journalism. I've got 2 of the good ones here from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Mary Spacuzza. Are you sort of a general assignment reporter? Are you politics?
Technically, I'm a political reporter and on the investigative desk, so I don't know if that's investigative political reporter, politics and investigations, but, you know, we're all kind of general assignment.
And
right?
always great to see a fellow Italian. Dan Bice, or
not Italian,
but also a good reporter.
Also a good reporter, regardless. We won't hold that against him.
I think is how he told me I had to call him that when we did the podcast. So watchdog columnist. I want to start with a story that this is sort of, to me, a representation of some of the things in my post about the show this morning, I said, war on journalists, just sort of a breakdown in how things, I think, should operate when we're trying as citizens to be well-informed, aware of what our government is doing. The story is an AP press reporter sort of banned from the White House. That's probably a strong word. All revolving around the newly named, by this country, Gulf of America, formerly known as Gulf of Mexico. Most of the rest of the world still calls it that. And as Dan filled me in earlier before the show, historically called the Gulf of, so this is 1500?
1550.
All right, so I guess
I still call it the Gulf of Mexico, but I mean, I still call it Miller. I still call Miller Park like County Stadium sometimes. So
yeah, put me in the I don't care
it's
what
not
you call
Miller
it.
Park.
I don't care if the president changed it. I don't care about any of that stuff.
I call it the Gulf of Dan.
Oh, you personalized it.
I did. I think
Very
we all
nice.
can do that.
But there's a bigger story here. And when the White House, because they don't like something that a journalistic organization does or doesn't do in this case, they're not playing ball on this issue for the most part, although they are doing things differently because they're bigger and they're worldwide, apparently, AP, right? Are they beyond?
Right. Yeah.
They're worldwide.
So thoughts on that whole story, but the other part that for me is bigger is shouldn't other journalists, other news organizations say, hey, hold on a second here. If they're not invited, we're not going to play ball either. Or am I being naive?
I think, AP is a well-respected international news organization. I've known stellar AP reporters. They don't just serve Donald Trump or the United States. Most of the world does not call that the Gulf of America. They still call it the Gulf of Mexico. I don't see AP has done anything wrong. This is their standards. I think it would, it's unfortunate because a lot of organizations are like, well, I don't want to lose my access. But if we follow down this road of like getting bullied into just saying and calling things what people want to call it, it's a dangerous road to go down.
But this isn't the only thing. At the Department of Defense, they've moved out a number of the traditional firms, newspapers and outlets, and replaced them with a more partisan press. And that's why I think this move is symbolic of what's going to happen in this administration. And at some point, the traditional press is going to have to push back. The tough thing for the AP right now is how far do they take this? If Trump decides he's not going to move, do they not cover presidential events for the next 2 years, 4 years? Yeah, and again, with your thing, what are the other media supposed to do? If they all just don't show up, then, actually, I think the Trump administration will be happy with that.
You really think so?
He does like attention. He likes being on camera, so
Yeah,
I think that might...
He likes to party. He likes to party now in the press room. Look.
But he likes being a bully, too.
Absolutely. Once the line was crossed, when journalists or fake journalists started to get the attention of real journalists and real people that actually cover the news in what hopefully is a non-biased way, we sort of blurred the lines of this stuff, and we're going to see a press room, if it keeps going this way, filled by people who love the president, support the president. What kind of critical analysis from a press freedom, media responsibility point of view are we going to get? I'm not happy with this current state of affairs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
I do think that they're trying to show that they're going to reward those conservative outlets. Who did they move in at Department of Defense? The only weird one was the Huffington Post. But then the other day he attacks the Huffington Post at a press conference. I think, the first month of his administration has been all about asserting his power. And I think that's what this is. I'm not sure if he's going to, carry this through forever. But it's hard to know because, as I said, he can be a bully. And there's, he probably thinks there's no loss if the AP is not a press conference.
They can do a lot of good reporting without access to. They're not like completely banned. Nobody can ban them from covering the White House.
In fact, I think some of the best reporting comes with. I think you can be a really good reporter without official access.
All right,
Watergate guys. They were not hanging out at the White House.
That's the highest standard, right? You just named the one that I think most people point to. Just so before we go to break, worried or not worried about this situation? From a journalist perspective, worried or not worried?
Worried
because I think it's a symbol of what this administration thinks and what it's likely to do in the next 4 years.
Worried but confident AP is going to do some very good reporting over the next 4 years.
I share that hope, and let's see what happens on this. I'm going to continue to cover the story because it bothers me, and I think it should bother all Americans who want to know what is actually happening in our government without the filter of the person who's sitting in the Oval Office or anyone that works for him. All right, after the break. I have not paid attention to the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Apparently, that race is coming very soon.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
April 1st.
Yes. Yeah. And then just some updates on that race from a journalist perspective with Mary Spacuzza, Dan Bice, two great local reporters. You're listening, of course, Political Power Hour. The triumphant return to the seats after spending the week in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. I am ready for excellence on the radio this week. Let's do it after this.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we profile the average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life, becoming everyday heroes. Olympic kite surfer Bruno Lobo.
I heard someone screaming, and then I recognized that was someone drowning. I can use this sport to save a life, so yeah, this is my biggest trophy.
Everyday Hero, Thursdays at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Advent. I love talking about Advent because I'm just saying this to my wife, Kathy. I don't snore anymore, so she doesn't have to put up with that. And if you have a bed partner, sleep partner, partner of any kind, and they're a snorer, you know what I'm talking about. It disrupts not only their life and maybe their health and safety, but also your sleep life as well. I did something about it. I went to Advent. 30-minute visit. They answered all my questions. They put me at ease. We did a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined my problems, sinuses, and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure done in office, breathing better than ever, sleeping through the whole night, 7 hours uninterrupted last night. That could be your goal, as it was mine. If you struggle like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com. Schedule. I'm so excited. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
We love being a trusted friend in the community for those who need an attorney but don't know where to turn. Our clients aren't the kind of people who typically bring lawsuits. Our clients have been hurt in a crash or accident and need our help and advice. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are injury lawyers living, working, and giving back in our community. When you need help from exceptional personal injury lawyers, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com.
Thanks for tuning in on this Monday edition of Political Power Hour. Chief Great Guest, Mary Spacuzza, Dan Bice, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. For all those talking heads, squawk radio folks who don't like to say the name of the publication for some weird, bizarre reason, it's the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. I love bringing that point up every time journalists are on the show. All right. I have not paid, because I was on a beach in the Bahamas, I've not paid attention at all to Wisconsin Supreme Court race. From a journalist perspective, Mary, we'll start with you. What's going on in this race?
Okay, so race like 6 weeks away, April 1st election. I think there are a lot of questions about momentum going into this. It's supposedly a nonpartisan race. Everybody knows there are lots of partisan elements to it. I think there are questions about are liberals going to feel defeated by the president's win and starting to tune out news by this just nonstop kind of rampage of news coming from the White House? Or will they be more motivated to get to the polls to send a message that they oppose Trump? Are conservatives motivated because they're like on a victory lap, or are they kind of like, we're only going to vote for Trump, so we're not going to turn out?
So Mary wrote a story this past week just on abortion, where the two of them are, and they couldn't be further apart.
Right.
Yeah.
And am I right that Schimmel supports the old law, 18 whatever? 18,
well, he's changed now. I mean,
how has he changed?
He's now saying, and this doesn't actually work, but that he wants a referendum and he'll abide by with the referendum. But Wisconsin doesn't have a thing where a referendum decides what the law is. Right. Lawmakers decide what the law is. But the two things that have been interesting about this race for me, and I think this is my 14th Supreme Court race. The one is the partisan thing. I keep on thinking more and more each election, and this one more than ever, should we just get rid of these nonpartisan designations and put an R and a D on these names? Because it couldn't, we have the Democratic Party has given $3 million to Crawford. The Republican Party has given $1.7 million to Schimmel. I mean, it's become just like any other race in that regard.
Who's raising the most money?
Crawford's ahead 7.7 to 5.1 million. But the outside groups now, what we're going to see in the next month, only one outside group spending money. I wrote a story today with Schimmel saying he hopes that the outside conservative groups get on the radio and TV very, very soon. He needs them now. And then secondly, the other issue that's important to me in this race is fundraising. Candidates in these races are not allowed to ask for money. And Schimmel keeps on coming close to doing that. It's an old rule that says judges shouldn't ask for money. But the fact is they're sending out mailers. They're doing everything else. They're just so close to the line. Are these archaic rules that we're operating by?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but someone just said if it's good for the country, or in this case, the state, it's not a violation of the law. Laws don't matter.
Well, I think actually what's going on is the Democrats decided that they were going to push it, and they had, Janet Protasiewicz then comes out and says, these are my positions on these issues.
Right.
And I think Schimmel and the Republicans decided they've got to play by the same set of rules. And so he's been very open about his positions on a number of issues.
Although he has not been... He's been very open in the past on his views on abortion. He has said he's unapologetically pro-life. He signed on to a white paper what was that, 2012?
2012, before he was
2012.
AG.
And, obviously the 1849 law did not have exceptions for rape, for incest. It was only for, like, if the mother was going to die, essentially. And since then, he has not been wanting, I don't think he's eager to talk about those issues, because if you see the polling, which he's acknowledged, the vast majority of Wisconsinites, what is it, 63% on the...
Yeah, it's in the 60s.
But in the 63% say that abortion should be...
But, it's interesting, they're supposed to not be partisan, but Schimmel went to the Republican convention. He went out collecting registrations for the Trump campaign. And she's doing a lot of stuff for the Democrats. She continues to maintain that she's nonpartisan. In fact, gave a speech saying, my opponent is partisan. I'm the nonpartisan one. Vote for me. But then when you take $3 million from the Democratic Party, it's hard to assert that.
I don't think any of us are sitting here today thinking this is a nonpartisan race. We've already moved
so
past
why not
that.
just get rid of it? This designation.
Some states appoint their judges. Why don't we go that far, and then we don't have to worry about all the money injected in the race?
I don't mind voting for them. I think it's. I'm very much for democracy in these things, but I think the partisan thing, and as I said, the fundraising thing is just an out of date rules that apply to these Supreme Court races.
My strategist friend said this would be the most expensive Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Is it on track to be that?
Well, they've raised a lot of money on their own, and what we're going to see now is the outside groups, because they're the ones who spend the big bucks. The estimate has been up to $70 million. The record is in the mid-50s.
It's just mind-boggling when you think about it.
Well, but compared to the presidential, where you get into the billions. But yeah, it's a lot of money here. In fact, some groups are saying that there's one group, and we'll be writing about this soon, a group called Turning Point Action, that says that this is the most important race for the 2028 presidential race, because the person on the court can help decide if voter ID stays on or not. So they're treating this as an incredibly important race.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court will have a lot to say about the future of this country in the next year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. There's not even a question about that. What this country thinks, how this country lays out its laws, those things will be decided, and then we're all going to have to live with those results. Real quick before we go to break, nice comment, 262 area code. Read the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Bites and Spokooza are excellent reporters. Yes, I am very concerned that the president has banned the AP. What's next? A lot of people pointing to the Fox News ban that happened, and other reporters said, hold on a second, Fox News deserves to be here. That happened previously, and I'm not sure which. Was that the Obama administration? It might have been. I'll look that up. So some great feedback. Keep it coming on the WTMJ Signing Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, I should say, 855-616-1620. Quick break. Lots more to get to. Lots of stuff to talk about with our two journalist friends, Mary Spokooza, Dan Bice, right here. Political Power Hour, 620, WTMJ.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. I love talking about Milwaukee weight loss. My journey started just over a month ago. Lost 25 pounds already, about 20 more to go. It's the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. Their doctors have developed easy-to-follow weight loss program. Helps me and you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections, with no risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, no exercise unless you want to. Their program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. That's really important. Retrain your lifestyle, right? You get a coach for ongoing support. Their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, schedule a free consultation. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. You got a big event, big trip, that's the way to do it. Look at me, I'm a success story right here. Crazy to watch your body lose a pound a day? No. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You've been dealing with it forever, right? That ankle pain or the back or knee pain. It was a nuisance at first, and you kind of just put up with it. Now it's nearly debilitating for you, and it's affecting everything you do. It's time to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that pain that's always just kind of been there. You don't even remember how long it's been now. Call QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain, long-term relief. It is possible. Joint pain doesn't get better with time. So before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for this life-changing regenerative treatment. No painkillers, no surgery, no downtime. QC Kinetics regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Patients right here in southeast Wisconsin. They have a location in Mequon and another in Greenfield. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. And if it's easier on your schedule, they're even open on Saturdays. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Oh, winding it up on a Monday. Good to be back. Yes, I was in very warm weather. Yes, I laid out in the sun. Yes, I had a lot of fun, bought some cigars. Didn't smoke any, but I bought a bunch, which I'll get to at some point. My guests on the program today, Mary Spacuzza, Dan Weiss, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Primary election tomorrow. What do we think the turnout's going to be on this sucker?
I'm going to guess not high. I don't think a lot of people realize.
Are fatigued.
I think people are tuning out, and we just have so many elections, and I don't know if people are aware that there is indeed a spring primary tomorrow.
The only high-profile race at this point is Supreme Court, and there's no primary there.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got an aldermanic race on the
Which
east side.
We're going to get to it after the news.
On the east side, and then
for Jonathan
Brostoff's. Then you have the superintendent's race, which is another race where partisanship is quickly becoming. I mean, both parties have endorsed a candidate, and so you have the official. Well, not official. Kinzer won't say that she's a Republican, but she's receiving money from Republicans. She's campaigning with Republicans, and then you have Underly, the incumbent, who's taking money from Democrats.
I mean, not to belabor the point, but the public has moved on from this stuff. They have no expectation that these are nonpartisan races anymore. Am I missing something? We can pretend that they are, but the public has already moved on. Everything is partisan. Everything that we do in our life is now partisan, whether it's medicine or healthcare or you pick some sports. It's all politics now.
So what's the advantage to keeping them nonpartisan?
What's the advantage to keeping this race nonpartisan?
All of these, superintendent,
I would separate
Supreme
the Supreme
Court
Court one. I would say this race is important because we're talking about the future of our country with our educational systems. And if that becomes partisan, depending on what side you're on, they have a vastly different view of how to teach children, young adults, just the basic things about our country. And I would hate to see us get to a point where it's so partisan, so political, that entire sections of our country's history are removed or how we teach things are just eliminated. That's not a good, solid education. All that being said, I favor a basic core education in high school. I know we've sort of added all the frills and exciting things about all the other courses you can take and learn all these amazing things. For me, high school should be about basic education. Let them do that in college if they want to go.
Apart from that, the thing that's
You've got 15 seconds.
The most disturbing thing to me is how poorly black students are doing in Milwaukee and Madison, and I'm not seeing any of the candidates providing us an idea about how to fix that.
Exactly. Now we have a new superintendent in Milwaukee Public Schools. I saw that news over the weekend, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
new soup.
Yeah, but
where does she
the
come
gap
from? Quickly,
Boston. But the gap between blacks and whites in Milwaukee is stunning. It's
horrendous.
Right.
All right. Dan Bites, Mary Spacuzza. We got local news coming up. Before that, the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. 11 people are now confirmed dead in Kentucky as a result of extensive flooding. That brings the regional total to 12 people. In Kentucky, Hazard Mayor Donald Mobilini said people did not expect this kind of damage.
I think everybody missed the mark because it's supposed to crest at 26 feet and it gets 30.5 feet. That's the largest flood we've had since 1984.
Governor Andy Beshear urging people to stay off the roads in high water. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's in Saudi Arabia, where tomorrow he'll meet with Russian officials as the U.S. continues its goal of bringing an end to the war with Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine. Kremlin spokesman said better relations the reason why a 28-year-old American was released from jail after 10 days on a drug charge. Elon Musk's SpaceX team going to the FAA's Air Traffic Control Command Center to talk about what controllers need as Musk's Department of Government Efficiency continues sweeping cuts. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:31. I'm Connie Weber. Bed bugs, lack of heat, now financial mismanagement at the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee. A review of financial irregularities between the City of Milwaukee and HACM begins today. City Steering and Rules Committee will discuss longstanding debts owed to the city by HACM, totaling millions of dollars. According to an email obtained by our news partners at TMJ4 News, HACM is at risk of filing for bankruptcy. Visually impaired woman from Racine has filed over 30 lawsuits alleging businesses websites are not accessible to screen readers. Filings include several against Wisconsin-based companies like Anodyne Coffee and Koss Corporation. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports Melissa McCabe, one of more than 100 plaintiffs, using tester lawsuits to push businesses to evaluate their websites for compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Milwaukee police asking for help locating critically missing Amrinder Singh. Amrinder was last seen around 11 a.m. Sunday near Betcher and 16th Street. He's known to frequent areas around the Amtrak station. He's 27, 6'2", approximately 135 pounds, black hair. Anyone with information is asked to contact MPD District 2. Time for some news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are closed today because of the President's Day holiday. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Highway 59 West closed. We have a new crash there. It is closed at Calhoun Road. Take an alternate if you are in that area. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cold weather advisory in effect till 11 this morning, then reissued at 9 p.m. tonight till noon tomorrow for all of southeastern Wisconsin. Cold today. High of 7, wind chills 10 to 20 below. Cold overnight with a low of 6 below, wind chills 15 to 25 below. Mostly sunny, cold tomorrow, 10 for the high. Flurries possible Wednesday up to 14. Partly cloudy and 22 on Thursday, then mostly sunny and 24 on Friday. 0 in Madison, 1 below in Green Bay, now 2 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:33.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true, but offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people, but the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
Grab your to-do list and head to Fleet Farm for Project Days, happening now through the 26th. Carhartt fans get a free $20 gift card with every $100 worth of Carhartt gear. Good on your next Fleet Farm purchase. Sprout Sweet Mix for horses and livestock is just $8.99 a bag. And save $50 on a Milwaukee M18 Compact Brushless Drill Driver Kit, now only $149. Don't miss Project Days for great buys on all things DIY at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices guaranteed.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox & Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Thanks for tuning in on this Monday, this cold, chilly Monday. Hope it's warm where you are. We've got listeners all over the country now, so if you're in a place that's warm, good on you. I was just in a place that was very warm. Never been to the Bahamas before. Very relaxed lifestyle. Then I spent a day in South Beach in Florida, Miami. Gorgeous. Little Havana, great food, great cigars.
What made you choose Bahamas?
I hadn't been there before, and my wife and I sort of tick off places, and we have a long list, and we take about 12 trips in the last 3 years. And we got about 4 or 5 more scheduled. We just want to go to the places that you need to see.
Where are you going next?
Scotland for 2 weeks.
Wow. I have a brother who lives in Scotland.
My mom is Scottish, so it's perfect. And I've never been. I've been to England, but not Scotland. So I'm looking forward to that trip. Enough about my travel plans. All right. You heard his voice, Dan Price, Mary Spacusa. You shared. Is it a byline still?
Yeah.
You shared the byline. On this story, I'm going to read the headline. A candidate running for Milwaukee Common Council has faced a history of accusations by women in 3 states. Who wants to go first and explain what this means exactly?
You can take it.
Yeah, so one of the races tomorrow is the Common Council seat. That was it was Alderman Jonathan Brostoff's seat. He unfortunately passed away. There are 8 candidates. The top 2 will advance to the April election. So we do background checks on candidates, and Bryce and I have done trainings on doing background checks on candidates. So
is that a normal process now for reporters?
It is supposed to be, yes. Yeah, it should be. CCAP.
I try to make sure everybody on every major race goes through, checks everything that, the voting record, which we did, and I wrote about another candidate based on that, as well as their criminal background and all of those sorts of things.
Real quick on the voting record, but I want to get to the story.
Sure.
But if you're a candidate for office and you have shown a history or a past of not participating in elections, I'm not going to give you my votes. It seems silly to me that when you want to run for something, all of a sudden you're invested in the process. Before that, hands off.
I think the front runner in this race, Naz Musa, whose family owns Casablanca, I wrote a story saying he'd only voted 3 times since 2012. I mean, I do think he has a good shot of finishing first or second in this race. And the funny thing is, I saw him at the city birthday party, and he came over and said, "Thanks for doing that. I'm not going to miss an election any time in the future." But the thing is, he's missed them over the last 12 years.
Yeah, a good reporting on that, by the way. All right.
So I actually had an editor in Florida we had checklists, and we had to check and it was, if somebody was running for school board, you'd have to check to see if they graduated, if they were lying about their transcript. So given that, we do pretty in-depth background checks.
This candidate's name is Bryant Junko.
Yes.
All right, and there's a lot of things on his resume. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
Let's walk through some of this stuff.
Okay, so when we do background checks, you check CCAP, you check Nexus. One of the things that I noticed in Nexus is next to possible criminal arrest, /arrest, it says 39 filings. So
39.
Right. That's not to say he was convicted 39 times. A Nexus can be wrong. So you really have to be careful because you don't want to just take something off of a Nexus report and say that they did it. But I started noticing things like, stalking allegations, domestic violence. It's called dating violence in Florida. That's the what he was facing there.
Let me just read one sentence. This sort of describes, I think, eloquently by both of you. Junko has faced stalking, harassment, or violence accusations in Wisconsin, Florida, and Georgia in cases involving 8 women.
8 different women, yes. And then there was a man who accused him of repeat violence. That restraining order was rejected. That is not to say he has been convicted of these crimes, so I want to be careful about that. The case against him, it was a felony stalking with domestic violence modifier here. That case was dismissed. I got a tape of the trial where it was just very brief, and the prosecutor said that they had been provided with 940 pages of text messages and decided there was something broader going on.
And he acknowledged the text messages that are in our story.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I did send those, but there's a broader context."
Did you see those text messages?
Yes. Did he describe what the broader context was?
I think he was saying that there was a larger fight between him and her, and that this was just part of the disagreement.
I read the one that seemed very threatening. I will wreck you or something like
well, you
that.
know, the hard thing about these cases is that
I will destroy you is exactly.
Many of the people who are the victims have a hard, frequently don't show up in court. And so the cases get tossed. And so he pointed out that most of these cases that he was not convicted, but that's a serious issue. But, well, go ahead with what you're saying.
I was going to say some of the texts were, any relationship you try to have, I will destroy you. That's my word. I hope you have cancer and it's metastasizing. You're going to see who you're blinking with. I want financial damage caused to you. There was another case in Florida where he did have a restraining order against him from a 2012 situation. He actually went back in 2022 and had that dissolved, and it looked like the woman in that case was never served, so she didn't even know that was happening.
And a couple of the cases are here, and what's interesting about those is that Bryant tried to have those cases sealed. Mm-hmm. One, he got it. The other one, he did not. The Waukesha County judge said he didn't see a merit. And in those filings asking for them to be sealed, he cited the fact that he was running for alderman. And he explained to us...
in one of them. I didn't see the other one because it was sealed, but yeah.
But when he talked to us, he said he was afraid people would dox him if they knew he was running for office. But, people can do that no matter what.
The record is the record, whether whether it's convictions or it's a stretch to say
it's extremely rare to get your case sealed. Unfortunately, in some divorce cases, wealthy people, powerful people have been able to get it sealed. But for the most part, our system's transparent, and CCAP makes it even more transparent. So, the thing is, when we asked him broader context, why is this happening to you again and again and again? Part of his answer was, it's the kind of women I keep on dating. And so it didn't seem like he really had reflected much on himself when we talked to him.
We did ask, would if the Common Council decides issues about public safety, they address domestic violence policy, they address reckless driving. He had some red light running and issues like that with traffic violations as well. And he said, yes, they should because these were dismissed. But I think that is, the Common Council is a high-profile role that deals with a lot of safety issues.
She's Mary Spacuzza, also joined by Dan Bice from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, a great local reporting. We just talked about a great story that sort of demonstrates that. Keep those texts coming, 855-616-1620, the Siding Unlimited, WTMJ Talk and Text line. After the break, the stories these two ace reporters, great reporters, are covering, or maybe even want to cover. We'll take that next on the Political Power Hour on 620 WTMJ.
We love being a trusted friend in the community for those who need an attorney but don't know where to turn. Our clients aren't the kind of people who typically bring lawsuits. Our clients have been hurt in a crash or accident and need our help and advice. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are injury attorneys living, working, and giving back in our community. When you need help from exceptional personal injury lawyers, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. Right now, boy, I needed it this weekend when I got back from the Bahamas. All that snow. Driving a 2023 Chevy Silverado pre-owned, very low mileage. Got me through all the snow. It's beautiful glacier blue. Stands out in that all that white that I saw when I got back. All the power, low mileage, as I said. Great gas mileage, by the way, if you get on the highways. 29 highway, 24 city. All the towing capacity. Payload's amazing. You can find this and all of Heiser's great vehicles, pre-owned and new, at Heiser.com. What else are they doing? Lots of stuff, and great programs are part of that story, whether it's the Safe and Sound program, the Vehicle Exchange program, love it or exchange it, right? New or pre-owned vehicles, applies to both. Roadside Assistance for Life. Need a service appointment? They can do that online, or you can go to one of their 5 great locations. That's why I say, and they say every day, today's your day.
The wait is over. Brewers baseball is back. Time to pick your Brewers games and get back to the ballpark for tailgate traditions and walk-off wins. Be here for opening day. Come back for the big games and the best giveaways. Where else would you want to be? Brewers tickets for the 2025 season are on sale now. That's opening day and every game, all summer long. Get on board for the show today. Grab your seats at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Luxtone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. The best time to plan a funeral is when you don't have to. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here for Vita Hearing Care. Join them at their Sounds of Love event happening in February at both locations in Waterford and Mount Pleasant. You can test drive a set of Vista hearing aids for free. Check out the hearing aids they gave me. It's in person. It's friendly. It's going to be fun. There will be refreshments, and there's no obligation. Check them out today. Take care of your health. It's VitaHearingCare.com. Start there. You can book your appointment. VitaHearingCare.com. It's the Sounds of Love event in February at Vita Hearing Care. The teams I trust are at Vita.
Having fun on a Monday. Welcome to Political Power Hour. Back for 5 shows this week. Got a lot of great guests this week. Hey, looking ahead to Thursday, the head of the WIAA, Steph Hauser, is going to join us. Think we got anything to talk about there? I do. We'll get to that on Thursday edition. Let's not jump too far ahead. Dan Bice, Barry Spikuza. All right, you are 2 great local reporters. What are the stories you're looking ahead to covering, or things maybe you want to cover? What are you thinking about this week?
So one thing that we tried to do was make sure that we covered this Supreme Court race as thoroughly as we could. And so we've done, starting with the beginning of the year, we've been doing stories, not daily, but close to daily on various aspects. I also have enjoyed going to talk to them personally at various events and asking them questions. I'm interested in a group that's come out and is very strongly for Schimmel. It's called Turning Point. It's a national group. It played a role in doing the Get Out the Vote efforts in Wisconsin, Arizona, and Michigan. And in Wisconsin, they're slowly moving, taking seats at the county levels in Dane County, Brown County, Milwaukee County. And they have a project where they hope to take over entire state Republican parties. And so I'll be doing some stories with another reporter, Lawrence Andrea, over the next couple of weeks about that. And Schimmel has actually told the party and Turning Point, quit fighting for the next 40-some days. I've got a major race. After that, you can duke it out, but right now, stop the fighting.
Yeah, this is not a surprise. I mean, when Elon Musk came on board with the Trump campaign and now the administration, he is a lot of things, but one of the things he's very coordinated and certainly has a grasp on how to communicate with new technology to voters, and this is all part of a strategy, which I think that points to.
What happened was the Republican Party here, and Brian Schimmel won't like this, but they were not doing a very good job on getting out the vote. They don't raise the sort of money that the Democrats raise. The Democrats raise sometimes 3-4 times as much money. And so Turning Point came in, and we met at the RNC, and they talked about their strategy here. But even then, Elon Musk didn't think they were doing a good enough job. So his group merged with Turning Point, and they're the ones who got out the vote and helped elect Trump in Wisconsin. And so this fight is going on between the old guard and Turning Point right now, is to see who and the Turning Point is a group set up mainly originally to deal with college students, but now it's mainly people under the age of 30. And in Wisconsin, under 30 males, came out in support of Trump in a big way.
So I got some Supreme Court stuff coming up. Alison Durr is doing a great job covering the race with Dan Bice. I'm helping out with some additional coverage, so I'll have some stories on that coming out. Be stopping by to catch Tom Barrett tomorrow, who is going to be at Rotary.
Do we know what he's going to be doing with the rest of his life? Is he just retired? What is he doing?
I'm going to try to ask him tomorrow, so hopefully I can catch up to him, see what he's up to.
That reporting will be out this week?
I was arguing that the Journal-Sentinel should send me to cover him abroad, but, that didn't happen. I was willing to take one for the team and go to Europe to cover him, but alas, that didn't happen. And then some other stuff that I got to pester Dan Bice about, so stay tuned. We've got some stuff we're cooking up together.
What we want to do is, over the next month, people are going to see a lot of stories about particular cases on both sides. Both sides are going to say the other side is too extreme, too lenient, and other things. And we've tried to stay on top of each of those cases, and we provided, so far, 3 of the cases, we provided an in-depth review of each of those cases. We have another story this week in which we'll be doing that on 3 more stories, but that's just going to pick up and be more and more over the next 6 weeks.
We got some records requests on how your taxpayer dollars are being spent, so that's always interesting.
All right, got to take a break. Final break, and then we're going to do something that's nothing to do with politics or reporting. I'm just going to ask you pop questions, pop quiz. And fun stuff, including why you're both wearing white sweaters. There's some significance to that. I have no idea why they showed up with the white sweaters. We'll get to that and more as we wind it up to the top of the hour. Of course, news with Connie Weber and then Jeff Sherman. Upswing after that. Quick break.
Wisconsin's Midday News.
We're following breaking news of an officer shot in the leg. Law enforcement sources tell WTMJ that officer was shot in an incident near 27th and Wisconsin.
The Milwaukee Board of School Directors chooses Dr. Brenda Caselius to become the next superintendent of MPS.
Join Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty every weekday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And Summerfest today with its artist drop, all the side stages.
Only on WTMJ.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Should I delay my Social Security benefits or should I start taking them right away? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Your decision can impact your income for the rest of your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help you create a strategy to maximize your benefits so you can make the most of what you've earned. Social Security is just one stop on your retirement-ready roadmap. Take the first step today. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free retirement toolkit and get a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Don't leave money on the table. Text SS to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Ready for a smaller space, warmer climate, want to live closer to grandkids, or you're just sick of the upkeep? From downsizing to selling, Bruce's team has guided over 3,000 families with care and expertise. Call us today, 262-242-6177.
Basement. Water leaks. Cracks in the walls. Had them? Have them? What do I do? Who can I trust?
I'm here to help. This is your Fix-It host, David Nason, with expert advice for my listeners. There's only one company I trust with basements, and that's my friends at Accurate Basement Repair. That's Accurate Basement Repair. And you know what? You're going to get a free expert evaluation on me. Just tell them David Nason, the Fix-It guy, told me to call. Again, that's Accurate Basement Repair. Check them out at accuratebasementrepair.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You've been dealing with it forever, right? That ankle pain or the back or knee pain. It was a nuisance at first, and you kind of just put up with it. Now it's nearly debilitating for you, and it's affecting everything you do. It's time to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that pain that's always just kind of been there. You don't even remember how long it's been now. Call QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain, long-term relief. It is possible. Joint pain doesn't get better with time. So before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for this life-changing regenerative treatment. No painkillers, no surgery, no downtime. QC Kinetics regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Patients right here in southeast Wisconsin. They have a location in Mequon and another in Greenfield. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. And if it's easier on your schedule, they're even open on Saturdays. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I really can't stay. But baby, it's cold outside.
Oh, stating the obvious. It is cold outside. Less than 10 degrees probably right now. Dan Bice, what's with the white sweaters?
Mine's Irish sweater. I wear it when it's under 10, so that's why it's on.
I've got a turtleneck because it was cold, and also Bill Glauber, our old friend and former colleague, used to say that I dressed like a Sicilian widow because I wore so much black. So I have been trying to lighten up my wardrobe a little bit.
That is something Glauber would say.
Right, yes, it did. It's something he did say, yes.
All right, we just celebrated Valentine's Day weekend. This is an obvious question, but flowers, chocolates, or a card for Valentine's Day if you have a significant...
Well, actually, you mentioned the Brian Junko story. that sort
How
of.
did you tie that into Valentine's Day?
Because it threw a wrench in Mary's Valentine's
That
Day
is
in a big
true.
way. So what did I do? I went to a restaurant, which isn't on your list, took out to dinner and flowers. That's what I did this year.
My husband got me a card and chocolate and some chocolates and some tulips, and I got him a little cake and a card. So
I went with flowers because I know my wife likes flowers.
I love flowers.
Yes.
And, yeah,
It brightens the
flowers.
room. They were all like a rainbow.
Red and white?
Yeah,
No.
rainbow of colors. It looks fantastic. All right.
It is great to have bright flowers on like a cold, dreary day.
Last night's SNL celebrated 50 years on the air, and I learned something yesterday when I was reading some stuff about the show. It debuted on my birthday, October 11th, which is my birthday in 1975. So
You're not telling us you were born in 75.
No. No. I was born October 11th. In a much earlier year. Did you see the show? And I think you both said you watched it.
A little bit.
What was the
watched all of
highlight
it.
for you?
Go ahead.
I have to say I was doing some other stuff and had to get to bed, but I was excited to see Eddie Murphy. So
He
I
was
just have
awesome.
fond memories of Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, and
His
so
impression of Tracy Morgan was as good as it gets.
I have to watch the whole thing
And
though
it's
because
even
I'm sure
tougher
there are
when
more
the person
highlights.
is watching you
Right next to him.
Yeah.
4 feet away.
What'd you think the best part?
Actually, I like the music. I thought the Adam Sandler song, original, very well done. And then when he mentions Chris Farley, he tears up at the end. I like the song at the beginning, "Nothing Compares to You" with Miley Cyrus and Brittany Howard. And then even though Paul McCarthy's voice isn't what it used to be, the crowd really seemed to enjoy that and got into it.
It's a Beatle. I was intrigued by Kevin Costner, he was sitting in the. I didn't see the end of the show because I had to go to bed. But I don't. Did they ever actually have him on the show other than the audience?
No.
So what was his role there? Because he was like,
actually, the audience was its own group. I mean, because you had
Spielberg.
so many people in the audience, many of whom had said nothing, but I think they just wanted to be there. Plus, SNL famously changes things at the last second, so you have no idea if there was. And they had this section where people in the audience ask questions. And so
it was funny.
It's possible they had more people with more questions, and they had to cut that back.
Whatever you think about SNL, and it's been around for so long, and I remember the early days when I was still in high school. This is a show that does it live. It doesn't happen that often, and they hit all the stuff, the politics of the day, the culture of the day, the music of the day.
I mean, the fact that it's live is great, but the fact that the way they do it during the week, starting on Tuesday with a clean slate, and they have to run through this thing. It's pretty incredible.
I think Sandler said at one point in his song that they couldn't do the sketch because the host didn't want to take their shirt off. I love Adam Sandler because he's so freaking honest. All right, we got to end
funny.
it here. We should have left more time for the pop culture stuff. All right, Mary Spacuzza, Dan Bice. We'll do it again down the road. This has been the Monday edition of the Political Power Hour. Apologize to Jeff. I went long, but I just got back from vacation. I got a lot to talk about. We'll pick it up again tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, 620 WTMJ.
My name is Emma. I'm 25 years old, and I work at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. And I just love what I do here because I feel like I helped a lot of people.